Hey there, the Stacey Harris here, and I want to talk today about how much time I'm actually spending on Instagram. So this is going to break down my weekly time spent on Instagram pretty much minute by minute, really like quarter hour by quarter hour, because that tends to be kind of how I chunk things out. I'll start with the foundation. If you've ever heard me talk before, you've heard me talk about the social media foundation. That is the stuff that has to go out. Our promo for upcoming training or webinar, our blog posts, podcast episodes, videos, Facebook Live promos, affiliate promos, promotions, those kind of things. So the stuff that kind of has to go out to, keep the trains running on time, as it were. All right, so this is our foundation, and this is the stuff that I 100% schedule. So real talk, you have to have a business account to do this. There is no penalties with a business account as far as algorithm delivery and things like that. So actually getting seen in the newsfeed. There are, however, some major benefits to having it, and one of them is being able to really schedule. And you can use tools like Hootsuite or Later or eClincher to do this. They've all partnered with Amazon or with Instagram and their API to help get this set up for you. So we actually create the graphics inside of Canva. I had a graphic designer create templates for me when I started with these new theme days or the new themed templates. I had them created in Canva. Now my team just goes in, we update them, and then they get scheduled via eClincher. So all of that happens at once. So everything that's going out to the profile itself happens in about an hour once per week. Now, that 1 hour includes creating the graphics. They're just text graphics, or the occasional selfie. Those selfies get taken throughout the week when I have a minute here or there. Generally when I'm doing stories, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. So 1 hour for me to go in and put it all in we use Google Sheets, so like an Excel doc, the team to create the graphics and the team to actually schedule them. So there's an hour a week, including the hashtags and everything. My foundation, what's going up on my profile is set. Now, the remaining hour per month goes into stories per week rather, goes into engagement and stories. So actually having conversations. Stories usually take me about 5 minutes per day. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So 25 minutes of my week right there is stories. The remaining 35 minutes of my week goes into engaging. So that's responding to direct messages, that's commenting, liking, those kind of things on other people's graphics, and engaging with comments on my own. And again, I split that up at about somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes per day, Monday through Friday. So for the course of that 5 days per week, Monday through Friday, I use 2 hours of that. I don't know, let's see, I work about 7-ish hours a day. We'll just say 40 hours for the sake of math. So I spend 2 hours of that 40 hours on Instagram. This is a primary network for me. This is a network that drives traffic to my podcast. This is a tool that drives traffic to my membership and to purchases. So that's 2 hours well spent of my marketing time. Now, one of the things I want to caveat with this, as you noticed, is that hour of the foundation isn't always me. Now, sometimes I will actually go in and create the status updates and say, kind of this is what I want to talk about this week. But the creation and the scheduling, that happens via my team. And I'll be honest with you, that is my youngest team member. Yep, my son, who's 9, who actually helps out with the business in the summer, he takes care of that. So really, I take about 15-ish minutes of that time to write the copy for the graphic and the copy for the description. And the other 45 minutes is him creating that and scheduling it. So I'm spending about an hour and 15 minutes of my own time per week actually engaging and doing that stuff. Now, there's ways that you can do more. There's ways you can do less. But that, for me, makes sense for a primary network that really drives traffic and drives results. But how do I know it's driving traffic and driving results? Well, that's where we go into about an extra 30-ish minutes per month. So overall, where I go in and I evaluate. So we're using my Google Analytics report. I'm looking at the stats inside of Linktree, which is what I use as my link tool. I use a tool called Iconosquare to look at what posts have been the most engaging, most commented on. I'm evaluating how my stories are doing. Again, I'm able to do this with Iconosquare because I have a business account with Instagram. And so I'm spending about 30 minutes a month, in addition to that 2 hours per week, evaluating how I can maximize that time. So that's telling me exactly what kind of stories are doing well, what kind of stories are getting skipped right over, because it happens to everybody at some point or another. Where I should be spending my time engagement-wise, where my followers are coming from, what my audience demographics look like, so that I can make sure as I'm growing with the kind of people who I want to have as audience members, not bots, not follow for follow kind of accounts, those kind of things. They're people who are engaged, valuable members of this community, like you. Okay? So that's it. That's my whole time breakdown with Instagram. Again, 2 hours a week. So let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8.5 hours a month may seem like a lot, but this is my primary network. This is where I'm spending the bulk of my time when it comes to social. The secondary, the other primary for me is Facebook, and the only real time I spend there is when I do my live shows, either a quick from my phone kind of live show or my structured live show that happens on Thursdays. And so that takes me probably about an hour-ish a month. So there's, for my two primary networks, or I'm sorry, a week rather, for my two primary networks, I'm spending 3 hours per week engaging in those places. That's really, when you look at your overall week, not a ton of time. If, when you do those evaluations, you're seeing results from those networks, when you're seeing, yes, traffic is going to my site, yes, those people are opting into my email list, and yes, those people are buying my offers. Again, it's not going to be a flip you switch and suddenly your Instagram audience is like, oh my God, here's my credit card. It takes some nurturing time, and that's why I spend that time looking at those stats every month. But I can say now, as I've been doing this a while, consistently, that time is paying off massive ROI, okay? All right, if you have any questions, be sure to ask them on Instagram or Facebook, wherever you prefer. The best place to ask them, though, is inside of Hit the Mic Backstage. That's where, of course, I answer questions all of the time for our exclusive members in the VIP lounge, all right? I will see you backstage. Thanks so much for watching.